Do you have trouble when you import a SharePoint list into Power BI? Stick around. Okay, so we just have a basic SharePoint list here in the SharePoint Online site. This is just an event itinerary, nothing fancy here, just 4 rows. Basically just taking the template. What we're going to do is import this to Power BI and just try and get some real basic visualization out of it. So let's go to Power BI and we're going to go get data. Online services, SharePoint Online List. Alrighty, so let's just get the site here and paste that in there, because when you're looking for a SharePoint Online List, you actually just want the site URL, not the list URL. Just going to keep everything else as per default. And I was already authenticated. You'll want to use a Microsoft account or an organization account to get into your SharePoint list. We're just going to have a look at event itinerary. That's what we were looking at before. Numbers, dates, etc. Locations, all good. So we're just going to take that. We're just going to load this as is, and we'll see what that looks like when we get it into Power BI. So the point here is that by default, it's not necessarily going to look exactly how you want it. So let's just take a quick look here. Let's just put a real basic visual in, and we'll say, let's take a look at the capacity of different events. So maybe on the x-axis we'll take capacity, and we'll maybe take the description, sorry, y-axis, and on the x-axis we'll take sorry, that was the wrong way around. Let's do that there and put capacity on the x-axis. So we have different descriptions here, and oh, are all of those the same, those capacities? Let's just have a little look. So let's scroll across here, and when we look at capacity, well, no, 300, 150, 1200. But you notice they're left aligned. Doesn't look like SharePoint has pulled them in as a number. Let's just go back and take another quick look here. So capacity, if you click on that field and then take a look up there on the left, capacity is actually a data type of text, which is not super helpful. And what that means is when you're actually looking at capacity here as well, you're not going to be able to do much more than just get a count because it's not seeing it as a number. So let's just change that number just to illustrate this point. And now we should have the ability to go and sum that. Hey, no worries. Okay, so let's have a quick look here. Let's just get our labels. Whoops. Data labels. Okay, 1200, 150, 300. Yep, looking good. Cool. All right, so let's just try and have a little look at maybe dates, right? So if we just add maybe capacity again, just on the y-axis, and maybe on the x-axis, let's just have a little look at, so we've got start date time here. Let's put that on here. Now, what we can see is that that does move there, but this isn't being shown as a date. So let's have another look here. So start date time, if I just take a look again here, that's showing as text. right? So that's not great. So let's just change that to date time, and we should be able to do a few more things with it. So now, as you can see, this is now showing properly as date times, and you can also play around with the date hierarchy, so you can do it by quarter and whatnot. So if we just get rid of the year here, by quarter, etc. So not a great example there, but and again, you can drill down and take a look at that by month, yada yada. So all good. So things looking relatively reasonable now, but that seems a little bit long-winded. So you could transform that data as you pull it in through Power Query, but a better way to do that now, and this is slightly frustrating because it's not particularly well documented, or at least it's not something that is particularly clear when you're coming in to get data from a SharePoint list, is that there's actually other options that really you should be choosing over the default. So let's actually just try and get this data in again. SharePoint Online List. Connect. There we go. Still again. Implementation. 2.0. That's the fella you want. OK. Let's grab event itinerary. Data looks pretty much the same. Let's just load as default. And as we can see on the left-hand side here, that's all good. Fix this. Hang on, what have we done? Capacity. Yeah, something's was just a little bit not quite right there. Let's just go on the x-axis, go start date and time, and let's go back to maybe there. Okay, yep. So again, we've got the same data. Didn't need to change a thing. So let's just go back to capacity here. See there, decimal number now, and what we'll see with end date and time, start date and time. Again, date times now. So that's all you got to do. You just got to import as version 2 and happy days.